Everyone, welcome to another Tone Vase live stream. I am on day 4 of the dry fast. People are still asking me questions about the dry fast. I explained it all on the first video of the series. Please go back and watch that. This means no food and no water. I am doing the hard version of the dry fast. This means I am not even brushing my teeth and I am not showering yet. I really want to go in the ocean. You will see the ocean behind me. I am in a different location. I slept in a different place. One of my friends wanted to rent a nice villa by the beach. It was a 2-bedroom by the beach. So I'm upstairs actually. Here, I'll show you guys around. Oh, I'm not using the right camera. Shit. Let me switch cameras here. I picked up the camera and I'm like, well, nothing changed. There we go. You can see the beautiful ocean. We're in a villa that looks similar to that. That is also a 2-bedroom villa, but that's a 1-story villa. We are in a 2-story villa. I am in Las Verandas Resort in Pristine Bay, Roatan, Honduras. Oh, wow, the light's not as good if I use that camera. So I'm going to go back to the other one because, there you go, that's better. But the camera is still useful. I will show you on the map where I am. Okay. Guys, how's the audio? How's the video? How are these mics? I have no idea which microphone I'm using, so I really hope the audio is good. I have no one on the stream with me, so I have no idea if my audio is good. Someone has to be watching this live, right? I don't see a lot of people on. I only see 12 viewers. Am I even live? I am live. I'm definitely live. This is going to be a really, really good stream. AV is good. Excellent. Thank you. All right. I'm going to go to screen share. And there's a couple of things I forgot to mention yesterday. Let's review. We got to review. The first thing we're going to review is my sleep. Here's my, by the way, this entire stream is talking about how I went from this to this in 6 months. But right now I lost 10 pounds. I am at the same weight as I was right here. In fact, I weigh less. I think I have to take my shirt off actually. I weigh less right now than I did in this photo. But I have a lot more muscle at the moment than in this photo. So I lost 10 pounds, but I still have most of my muscle. Maybe I'll take off my shirt tomorrow in better light, so you guys can see what the difference is during a dry fast. Maybe I'll do it towards the end of the show. It's time to review my sleep. So this was yesterday's sleep. We went through it. You can see that yesterday I got 7 hours and 46 minutes of sleep, and my deep was 20% and my REM was 12%. This is the most important part that I look at. Deep sleep, and I talked about this on video number 2, day 1 of the dry fast. Deep sleep is your physical recovery. REM sleep is your mental recovery. This is the only thing that's important. These need to be at least 3 hours in a night, ideally 4 hours in a night. And the less you can sleep while still getting your 3 to 4 hours of restorative sleep, right there, restorative sleep, that's the goal. And then you have all of these things to help you get there. Now let's review last night's sleep. And here's the crazy part. Last night, I have not eaten. This is the 4th day of no food, no water. And my recovery, according to the Whoop band, is 93%. Personally, I don't really care all that much about the recovery score. I only care about the sleep score. Unfortunately, I only got 6 hours and 45 minutes of sleep last night. I was very disappointed in my quantity of sleep. And I'm going to briefly discuss that. Now, my sleep consistency still sucks. It's only 71%. Look at my sleep efficiency last night. It was 97%. One of the highest I've had in a long time. I should probably click. I should have probably did a screenshot. I'm now curious. I'm gonna open up my app on my phone. I want to see that consistency. How high is that? Sleep efficiency, and I want to see my metric. So 97, I hit, okay, I had 97 on January 5th. I had 97 on December 28th, and that's in the last month. So this is tied for the highest with 2 other days. Now, last month, I actually averaged 92% efficiency. That was amazing. But this month, I'm averaging 89% efficiency, but I hit 97. That is very efficient sleep. Efficient sleep definitely helps you with deep and REM. Okay. Now, here's my sleep hours. I fell asleep at 8:48. I've been going to bed so early because without food and water all day, and I am walking around, I'm getting my steps in, I'm trying to get 5,000 steps a day. You get really, really tired, really tired. So I'm tired as hell by 8 p.m. I'm yapping too much. I'm doing these streams. I have friends coming over to the villa, making sure I'm alive. I know a lot of people in Roatan. Uh, uh, so we're talking a lot. So I get exhausted. But this morning I woke up at 3:48 and I tried everything to go back to sleep and I couldn't. I could not go back to sleep. So 3:48 is my wake up time this morning. I was just in bed for the next 2 hours and then I'm like, all right, screw it. I just got to get up. Couldn't fall asleep. Now uh, out of that sleep, I was barely awake. I was only awake for 14 minutes. Look how efficient my early sleep was. This is the key. Like I don't care that I woke up early. Like if I got this sleep every single day, I would be fine. Because look, I still got my 3 hours of restorative sleep. Okay, it wasn't as even as I'd like. My deep is at 26%. That's perfect. My RAM was only at 17%. If I could get this to 20, this needs to be 25% and this needs to be 25%. And it doesn't matter how many hours you sleep. If this could have been 6.5 hours of sleep, and if this was 25% and this was 25%, I would have achieved 3 hours of restorative sleep. And that's all I really need is 3 hours of restorative sleep, especially with only 14 minutes of awake time. And you can see right here that look how long my deep sleep was in the beginning of the night. And this is my heart rate, by the way. My heart rate was in the 50s. And then my heart rate actually dropped into the 40s, which is good. That is great. Um, and right here, this was all my deep sleep. And here's my REM sleep. It's interesting. See, this is how it's supposed to be. My deep sleep cycle immediately transitioned into my REM cycle. And then you see it again. Then I went into light sleep. And then I hit deep sleep again. And bam, right into REM sleep. And then right here, I missed it, right? If this deep sleep cycle entered immediately into the REM cycle, and then this deep sleep cycle entered into the REM cycle, I would have made it. I would have gone my 25%. I hit some REM over here, but you can see this REM was around a waking event, okay? So I find sleep stats so interesting. So interesting. Okay, so you can see my REM and my deep, and REM always has an association with higher heart rate because REM sleep is when you dream, and if you have an interesting dream, your heart rate will spike. Unfortunate, I woke up so early. 1 more hour of actual sleep, and I would have cut my sleep stress to 0. Now look at this. Once again, 100% low stress sleep. This was the first 100% low stress sleep I had in over a month. And bam, I did it 2 out of 3 nights. All 100% low stress sleep. My sleep debt has gone up because I woke up so early before 4 a.m. and I just could not fall back asleep. And again, 3 hours of restorative sleep is my bare minimum. So I just wanted to go through my sleep stats. And the other thing I wanted to go through is I forgot in yesterday's video to go through this atrocious pyramid. It's not that I have a problem with the pyramid. I have a problem with the drawing of the pyramid. They had all here and they drew this garbage. Okay, let's review it. Okay, frozen peas should not be on a fucking chart. Don't ever eat frozen peas. I mean, don't eat peas, period. But if you're going to eat peas, just buy them fresh. Okay, you should never eat any fruits or vegetables out of a goddamn can. Okay, this is terrible. Like, I have such problems with this chart. Don't ever put your olive oil into a glass jar like this and then leave it in your kitchen next to your window with where the sun is going to kill it. Okay, keep your olive oil in the original, tinted glass jar. Put it inside the cabinet. Make sure you have temperature control, or you're going to turn that oil into complete rancid acid. I have no idea what the hell that even is. Why is a chicken or a turkey or whatever this bird is all the way at the top? That is wrong. Okay, you take this steak, you put the steak at the top. Ruminant meat is way better than poultry meat. Okay, first of all, the animal has 4 stomachs, so it converts grass into real protein. It's impossible to find a chicken that ate a carnivore diet, which it's supposed to eat. Why the hell is cheese above the steak? I'm being picky here, but they have all year to draw this damn thing. Okay, I don't even know what the hell that is. Maybe it's ground beef. Who knows? But you already have a steak there. Why the hell are you putting ground beef next to it? Someone tell me what the hell this thing is. Um, they put whole milk. This should be raw milk um, or heavy cream. Of all the fruit they could have put, they put terrible fruit. Grapes have way too much sugar. Bananas have way too much starch. Oranges are terribly grown and completely man-made. This should have been, I mean, blueberry is kind of okay. It's a little high in sugar. What the hell is this thing? Is that a pear? I mean, pear is a completely made-up fruit. It's a cross between an apple and something else. There is an apple. What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. Well, like, how do you make a food chart with things that people can't even recognize? Um, anyway, tomatoes are a nightshade. You shouldn't be eating them. Man, this is just so atrocious. Butter is fine. I don't know why it's so low. It should definitely be higher up the chart. Whatever this yogurt is, don't eat that thing. It looks absolutely terrible and full of added sugar. If you have to eat yogurt, which I don't, definitely find the cleanest possible version. Try not to eat your tuna in a can. In fact, don't even eat tuna. I eat tuna like once a month. It's completely full of mercury. If you're gonna eat tuna, you can definitely buy tuna at your farmer's market, like fresh caught tuna, especially if you're in the Northeast. Um, there's no reason to buy tuna in a goddamn can. Sardines, you don't really have a choice. You have to buy sardines in a can. Don't buy your tuna in a can. They put shrimp here, that's great. They put eggs here, that's great. Eggs should be up here at the top. Vegetables should be significantly lower on the same side. At least they put an avocado here, that's great. I'm not complaining about the avocado. I'm not complaining about the steak. Avocado should definitely be higher up the chart. Shrimp is okay. They should have put oysters. They would have been significantly better. The fruit should have been different. They could have put, better better fruit. I like raspberries and blackberries over blueberries and over strawberries. Strawberries are okay. I think strawberries have like more parasites than some of the other fruits. Nuts, I can't believe they put peanuts. Jesus Christ. Don't ever eat peanuts. On the nut side, they should have put macadamia nuts. They're a little bit healthier, but walnuts are okay. Almonds are okay. What the hell is this thing? I have no idea what this is. Uh, I don't even know where to start with this. What the hell is in this bowl? And they have bread and grains at the bottom. They shouldn't even be there. This is the thing that I forgot to talk about in my last video. Terrible, terrible. I can't believe someone actually drew this. Potato. That's a potato? No shit. Okay. I would have put potato lower. Well, butternut squash. Oh, that's a butternut squash. Okay. I used to like butternut squash, but I don't eat that either. Slop bowl. Yeah, that sounds about right. Magnesium glycinate will help with your sleep. Yes. I next time I get to the US, I'm gonna order some magnesium glycinate. I do think I need to start. I need to start having an evening electrolyte mix with magnesium glycinate in it. Yeah, a lot of people think that they die after 3 to 4 days of no food and no water. In reality, you can probably go about 30 days. I think after 30 days of no food, no water, you have a chance of dying. But I think an average person, if you don't have any like health issues, and you're not, walking through the Sahara Desert, I think an average person can survive for 30 days. I'm not. I like your comment, Harvey Williams, but I'm not going to read that. I don't want this to be anything about politics. Um, so if you want to get ripped like me, just keep watching this series, man. That's what the series is about, guys. I'm not an expert in anything. I'm just telling you guys what I did with myself for the last 6 months, and I'm sharing it all for free. The only thing I ask is if you're gonna buy something that I may or may not suggest, just use the affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. It doesn't cost you $1 extra. In fact, you'll probably save money. So if you like this content, there's no ads. I have no sponsors. There's no ads on this video. I turn monetization off. But there are affiliate links in the YouTube description, so please use them if you're going to use the products. Okay, let's talk about. Oh yeah, speaking of affiliate links, on tonebase.com, there is a section called affiliates. I'm gonna put like my Amazon products down here. Eventually, trying to revamp the website, but here is my health track band. If you're interested, go ahead and grab that. I'm gonna talk about the sauna that I had back when I lived in New York. I had this sauna. Right now, it's in my parents' basement, and every time I go visit my parents, I use this sauna every damn time. And I'm actually gonna have the CEO of the company come on the stream. I've had this sauna for about 6, 7 years. And I actually got it from my dad. I didn't even buy it for myself. Turned out to be an incredible purchase. Today, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about function health. If you click on this link, you get a little disclaimer. Just click on the disclaimer. That's a legal thing. And, oh, here we go. This is the link for you to sign up. So there you go. You can use my code to sign up, ToneVase10. I think it saves you some money. This is what we're going to talk about today. I should have probably logged in. Let me log in. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to log in on another screen. So what is function health? Function health is my blood work. This is my blood work. If I go right here into docs, it will show, I can literally download my PDF blood work lab results. But I don't need to do that because function health organizes it for me. I want to say it organizes. It's also incredibly cheap and I'm going to show you guys this. This is my blood work. Here's my blood work the first time I did function health in December of 2024. Here is my blood work through FitScript. I'm going to talk about FitScript on the very last show. FitScript helped me get the body that I have. FitScript did make me healthier. I will talk about FitScript. It's a program. I'll talk about them later. I will say most of the work was me. but FitScript helped. Here's my July Function Health. So Function Health is 2 blood tests a year as part of your membership, but the second blood test is smaller. So you can see how on the first blood test of the year, I had, certain blood markers that I didn't have when I did it in July. You can pay a little extra money and get them. And then I did a follow-up because I went to America for Thanksgiving, and I had to do this blood work for during Thanksgiving, and I fucked up. I completely fucked up. I'll talk about why. I everything wrong on the day of my blood test. I did wrong. I failed in every way possible. But here's my latest blood work, and once a year, it's over 120 blood markers. We're gonna go through this one by one, guys. This is gonna be a long stream. Get ready. I am limited by battery life. However, I don't have a plug out here, so I'm limited by battery life. Let's see how far we can get. I'm going to talk about all my blood work. I'm going to share the link to this document so you guys can see my blood work. When the next time I do blood work, I'm going to add it here. You can copy this spreadsheet, but just remember, everything here is going to be constantly updated. Here's my workout plan. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to finally talk about my workout routine. And there's other cool stuff here. I did this about 5-6 years ago. I just got so tired and frustrated with doing financial YouTube streams. I took like a month off and mentally, and I put together a list of the best food, carnivore focused food list for every single vitamin and mineral. This is my work from about 6 years ago. I should probably review it. I know so much more now, but I did this about 6 years ago. Anyway, my electrolyte mix is here. My body composition is here. I did a DEXA scan right before I started my 6-month journey. I think this DEXA scan was wrong. I didn't think I had 22% body fat, but I did. I'm going to do another DEXA scan next time I'm in America. This should cost like $300. It's expensive. You don't need this. And I think I'm now down to about 15% body fat. Anyway, let's get back to the blood work. So Function Health, for $365, the amount of blood work they do is unreal. It is unreal. It really is $3,000 to $5,000 worth of blood tests. Your doctor doesn't even know how to read blood work this intensive. Okay, so to break it all down for you, I paid extra for my food allergies and sensitivities. We can click on this. As you can see, I am sensitive to everything: wheat, tomato, soybean, peanut, corn. I didn't even know this. I just did this a month ago. Egg whites. Look at this, 29. I marked 29 on egg whites. 2 is supposed to be the barrier. I still eat eggs all the time. I'm still going to eat egg yolks. I'll cut back on the egg whites, even though I already cut back on the egg whites. Coffee is not that bad, but I don't drink coffee. Casein, I'm not touching casein. Casein is more like milk protein. And then they give you a whole explanation. Casein is a type of protein found in milk and dairy products. Maybe I should stop drinking unpasteurized milk as well, making it about 80% of the proteins in cow milk. Okay, so I mean, if you really want to be healthy, you need to know this stuff. So I'm probably gonna. I mean, I don't drink much milk. I do like my cream, heavy cream in certain things. I gotta Google if heavy cream has a lot of casein in it, but looks like I need to stop drinking casein and cacao. But cacao came in at 2.4, and 2 is the cutoff. So I guess I'm okay with cacao. Now, this is based on blood. These are blood markers. Let's see. This is all wrong. So here's my only critique of Function Health, and it's not their fault. Function Health is great. It gives me all the data, but I've done my own research, on understanding what every one of these things is. Maybe not every one of them, but I'm trying to. There's a lot to learn. Most of my time was spent trying to understand blood work. So in the last 6 months, I would say 70% of all the time that I spent on getting healthy was spent understanding blood and biomarkers. And this is what we're going to talk about today. So over here, right, in my total cholesterol is 224. The only problem that I have with Function Health is that I think by law, they have to use FDA approved ranges on what is good and what is bad. I think that my cholesterol is too low. I'm trying to get my cholesterol to approximately 260 to 280. That's what I think is optimal cholesterol. Now, Function Health, even if the founder of Function Health agrees with me and thinks that the most optimal cholesterol level is 250, 260, he cannot put that on the website because his company might get shut down. So I understand why my lipid panel, why my heart panel is all in red. And this is why I took all of the data from Function Health and I put it into my own spreadsheet. And this link to the spreadsheet is not currently in the video description, but I will add it to the video description. But if you guys want to follow along as you're watching, no, you know what? I'll put the link after. I'll put the link after. Just watch for now. I'm gonna drop my camera so that you guys can see the full screen. I have my phone on. Like, if someone has my phone number and something goes wrong with the stream, just call me or something. Now, let me describe what the spreadsheet is. Up here is my blood type, A positive. Okay. Right here are categories that these are my categories. Okay. This is the blood biomarker. This column info is very important. I did not have a way of properly providing notes. So when you hover over this, you see my notes, okay? And some of these notes are very, very detailed because there was a lot of information. Like you can even click show more right here, right? Some of these are very extensive. And if I hit the check mark, this thing will like go away. Like it's, I don't know if you copy the spreadsheet, if the notes would go with it. Sometimes I have notes like this, but they also had problems. Like when I copy a cell, then the note would like, anyway, I don't know how to provide good notes because some of these notes needed to be very extensive as I was learning this shit. Some of these took me days to learn and understand. Now, over here on the right, you have the conventional range. The conventional range is what FDA and your medical doctor and what the blood work sheet is going to say. So if you are outside this range, you are you're in trouble. And if you're in this range, you're okay. Have most of the time, not most of the time, but very often, this range is batshit crazy and completely wrong. But this is what your doctor is going to look at. Also, by the way, in reality, like whatever this is, let's go glucose, right? It doesn't mean that if you're 100, it's a problem, and you're 99, it's not a problem. Everything is a sliding scale. If you are right in the middle, you are perfect. The moment you start moving, even by 1% off the middle, you're not perfect. It's a sliding of a scale as it gets. There is no single thing. It's like, oh, you crossed the line. If you cross the line, it's already too late. You need to start fixing these problems before they cross the line. This is the conventional range. The optimal range is a range from functional medicine practitioners. If you want to get healthy, I'm going to turn off the camera, remind me to put it back on. I'm only going to say this once. If you want to get healthy, do not go to or listen to any medical doctor. Just don't. They were never taught. It's not their fault. It is not an MD's fault that at no point in their education and at no point in their practice and at no point in their workshops that they attend, at no point were they educated on how to live a healthy life. I'm sorry, they just weren't. It is not their fault. If you want to actually be healthy, if you want to reverse disease, you need to find a functional medicine practitioner who is not an MD. He could be an MD. He could be an MD that realized that the only thing that he knows how to do is to prescribe you drugs, to keep your problem at bay. Here's how I view medical doctors. You have a problem, you go to a medical doctor. The medical doctor has no idea how to fix your problem. He prescribes you a pill to make sure that problem doesn't get worse. That pill creates another problem. You then go to a medical doctor, the same one, different one, it doesn't matter. And he now prescribes you a second pill to prevent your second problem from getting worse that was probably caused by the first pill. Now you're taking two pills. Now you're going to have two additional problems. You go to another medical doctor and he'll now prescribe you two things to keep you at bay on your two additional problems. And this is why by the time you're 60 years old, especially in America, the average 60-year-old is on 12 medications. Don't quote me on the numbers. Just Google them. They're going to be in that vicinity. Okay? Because at no point was your MD doctor ever trained on how to go back, fix your lifestyle, and resolve the problem so that it doesn't need a pharmaceutical solution. Okay? Let's go back to screen share. If you have a broken arm, if you have an infection, if you can't breathe, you go to a medical doctor. If you're most of your other problems, your medical doctor he doesn't know how to fix them. He just knows how to prescribe the latest pill to profit from. That's literally what they do. So you want to go and find a good functional medicine practitioner. So let's get back to the spreadsheet. The functional medicine practitioner, every functional medicine practitioner will have their own optimal range. I have researched several functional medicine practitioners. They have different ranges, but I kind of ballparked it as to the optimal range for the average person. But you are not the average person. You are a unique individual. And because you are a unique individual, if you take the time, you need to come up with your own optimal range. So this is the conventional range from an MD doctor. This is the range from a functional medicine practitioner. And this is the tone-based optimal range. This is the range for me, which I will continue to update as I acquire more knowledge. Why is the tone-based range different from the functional medicine range? Well, for starters, very few functional medicine practitioners will recommend a carnivore diet. I am mostly carnivore. And when you are mostly carnivore, certain things are different. We're going to talk about them. Also, I used to be OMAD, one meal a day. When you are carnivore and one meal a day, your blood markers are going to come out very, very different. Shit, my computer is already like dying. See how far we can make it. I may have to go inside and plug it in. I don't want to stop. We have so much further to go. I'm at 42%. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. It was at 100% when I started, though. So this is my range. Now, let me show you some of the most egregious changes in the range. LDL cholesterol, according to conventional medicine, your LDL cholesterol needs to be less than 100. Functional medicine practitioners would like it between 80 and 140. By the way, the conventional range saying less than 100 is fucking nuts. If your cholesterol, the only way your cholesterol is going to be zero is if you're dead. Okay? If your cholesterol is less than 50, you are pretty much dead. You are mentally dead. You probably have Alzheimer's. So this is where I have a big problem with the conventional range. Okay? Your triglycerides being zero is, your triglyceride index being zero is also not great. Something's off there. And your triglycerides actually being zero is a problem. Okay? Now, the functional medicine would like it to be a little bit higher. And notice, the functional medicine doctors understand the older you are, the more LDL cholesterol your body needs. Okay? Now, the tone VASE optimal LDL cholesterol begins at 100. If my LDL ever falls below 100, I'm doing something wrong with my life. Okay? I want my LDL to be closer to 150. I want to be in the middle of this range. That's me. Okay? And we're going to talk about cholesterol in a little more detail coming up. Another example of the tone VASE range where it significantly alters is in blood urea nitrogen, known as BUN, B-U-N. This is your kidney. This is how your kidney is working. Now, your kidneys will filter and process everything that the liver does not. So anything that makes it through the liver and doesn't, get cleaned, your kidneys take care of it. But mostly your kidneys take care of BUN, which is how your kidneys process protein, and creatine as well. And there are notes right here. Okay, so you can read the notes. BUN is a waste product of protein metabolism. It is cleared by the kidneys at 50%, and the other half is reabsorbed back into your body. Now, unlike creatinine, which I'll show you in a minute, okay? So what does high BUN mean? It could mean that you're dehydrated, but then your calcium and albumin will also be high, validating the fact that you're dehydrated. You have a very high protein diet, kidney impairment, if you have a kidney problem, and another, serious problem. Now, this is the part that most doctors aren't aware of. When the conventional range says you need to be between 7 and 25, my range is between 15 and 30. Now, why is my range higher? When you are a carnivore, you are eating a lot of protein. If you are eating a lot of protein, your kidneys are going to have to filter and process a lot of protein. So while a lot of doctors are going to freak out when they see my BUN levels at 24 or 33, in reality, when you eat a lot of protein, your kidneys are going to filter a lot of protein. That means your kidneys are functioning correctly. If you are not eating a lot of protein and your BUN is high, that means you have a kidney problem. And I don't know how to solve your kidney problem. Go to a professional. But I know how to recognize that there is a problem. Now, if you are eating a lot of protein and your BUN is low, that is also a problem. I don't know how that would happen, but that is also a big problem. So if you're eating a lot of protein, your BUN should be high. Okay, that means your kidneys are properly functioning. And now creatinine is another one. We can look at my notes right there. Kidneys excrete all of this and does not reabsorb any. Used to calculate EGFR. Now, this will be high in the following scenarios. You have a large muscle mass, you exercise or have muscle trauma, or you have kidney filtration issues. So again, if you are a muscular person, if you uh, if you work out, you should have high creatinine. Creatinine is basically the creatine in your body. If you take creatine, it should increase this metric as well. If you take creatine and you work out, your body should be, having more creatinine. My creatinine is actually lower than I would like it to be. It was very low in my last blood test. Yes, it's in the green. It is within my personal range. My personal range is 0.8 to 1.2, and I wanted closer. I wanted a 1 or above. So uh, this blood work was done before I was working out. So it's very strange that the highest reading on my creatinine was before I started taking creatine and before I started to put on muscle. And my bun was very, very high. I was still a carnivore back then, eating a lot of meat. I think I'm eating more meat because I added a second meal, and yet my BUN went down and my creatinine went down. This is very, very interesting. I would have expected both of them to rise, but yet they drop. But I've also added sweet potatoes and a few other things. And then you have the ratio. Anything in bold is a mathematical calculation. So if you click on this, you can see the mathematical calculation. By the way, some of these calculations are outright insane, and I had to do this myself. Free testosterone. This calculation here, this is the calculation. It involves square roots. This is a factorial. This took me 3 days. AI couldn't help. AI couldn't help. I tried. I didn't eat. I barely ate. I barely slept. I spent 3 days because I have two math degrees. I have an undergraduate math degree and I have a graduate math degree. And you have no idea how hard this was. It took me literally 3 days to get this done, to get this formula done. I wanted to figure out how to calculate my free testosterone from all the other blood markers. Free testosterone is an estimated calculation, and while your blood work will show you free testosterone, I wanted to calculate with another formula. And anyway, we're going to talk about male hormones. The knowledge that I have on reading blood tests, I can probably do a 3-day workshop only on this, and I still wouldn't get through all of it. So I'm only going to go through a few things, but this is also disclaimer. Here's a disclaimer. I have an expertise at analyzing my blood work. I do not have an expertise at analyzing your blood work. I don't ask me to analyze your blood work. I will walk through my blood work. If it helps you to research your own blood work, that's great. But every person is an individual. And I analyze my blood work in terms of me and my diet and my lifestyle. And on a future video, I'm going to talk about my DNA reports and my genetics. Okay. Let's go through it. Now, I don't understand why my glucose is always above 100. Your fasted glucose should be below 100, especially when you are low carb like I am. I am pretty much keto. I don't have an explanation as to why my glucose runs high. Now, over here, I put a playlist in. It's explaining how some carnivores actually have higher base blood glucose levels. You can go ahead and check that out because you will have access to the spreadsheet. Anything in purple is something that's really important to me. Now, there has to be another disclaimer here. I am very, very healthy. So, for example, anti-nuclear antibodies, I am negative. I have no idea what ANA, anti-nuclear antibodies, are. I did not take the time to research anti-nuclear antibodies because I don't have any. Not having any is good. If you have ANA, it could be the most important thing on your blood work. So when people ask me, Tone, what's the most important thing? There is no most important thing. The most important thing is the thing that is most out of line with the baseline. That is the most important thing. Anything that is skewed too far. I think ANA is very important if it's there. If it's there, that means you have some serious problem. But I don't even know what this is because I have not researched every single blood marker. This is literally a job. Like, this is what your functional medicine practitioner has spent years doing. I'm just a trader on YouTube, okay? So for me, probably the most important blood marker when you are healthy and don't have any critical issues is your insulin level. I think this was an error on my blood work back in a year ago. I could not believe it was 7.5 and it was that high. I want my insulin to be between 2 and 6 and closer to 2 than 6. 4 insulin is perfect. This is the most important blood marker. Your doctor will occasionally get this requested. This you can request from your doctor, okay? Now, here's one more thing on blood work, by the way. You cannot get this blood work done at your doctor. When you go to your doctor, the nurse will draw your blood. There is no way your nurse can do these tests. Most of these tests require very specialized tubes with very specialized liquids that preserve the blood in a very specific way. So do not go to your doctor to request these tests. Your doctor will actually laugh at you. They'll laugh at you because he'll say, my office does not have the ability to draw this much blood. Your insurance will not cover the majority of these tests because your insurance doesn't work that way. Your insurance does not pay for preventive care. Your insurance will only pay for this panel, the ion panel, the advanced cholesterol panel. Your insurance will only cover this if you are a diabetic, if you have high cholesterol. If you are already in serious trouble, about to have a heart attack, the insurance will say, okay, fine. I guess we have to pay for more information to know how close this guy is to dying. And if he's really close to dying, we now want to pay for this stuff so we can put him on more medication so that he doesn't die tomorrow, but instead he's going to die in like a year or two, right? Let's squeeze a couple of more years out of him. They have no intention of actually helping you fix the problem. They just want to put you on a statin or something, okay? So, which is an evil drug, by the way. Completely evil. So, your insurance ain't going to pay for this. Your doctor has no idea how to read these results. Your doctor has no ability to preserve the blood in their office to even get this tested. You need to sign up for a company like Function Health. Doesn't have to be Function Health. I'm going to talk about FitScript. FitScript does this as well once a year. Function Health is only $365. I have both, so you can see I do blood work 3 times a year. I do my annual FitScript blood work and then twice annual Function Health blood work. Okay, so in the year 2025, I did 3 tests. These 2 were right next to each other because I wanted to see, well, first of all, my FitScript blood work will always be in the summer. And I didn't know about FitScript when I already joined Function Health. and my Function Health 6-month appointment was coming up. I'm going to try to separate these two. Okay. Let me mention one more thing before I move on with my actual blood markers. I did everything wrong for this blood test. Here's how you're supposed to take a blood test. I'm going to jump off screen share for a second. Here's how you're supposed to take a blood test. You're supposed to get proper sleep. You're supposed to be well rested. You need to be between 8 and 12 hours fasted. Do not be more than 12 hours. Do not be less than 8 hours. Ideally, 10 to 11 hours fasted when you do your blood work. Do not stay up late the night before. Get proper sleep. I failed. I was playing poker till like 1 in the morning the night before. At least I didn't drink alcohol that night. Also, do not go to the gym in the morning before your blood work. I did. Make sure you get good sleep. I did not get good sleep. I went to bed at 1 in the morning. I had my blood work appointment for 11 a.m. I went to bed at 1 a.m. I woke up at like 7 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. I was staying at a friend's place in Miami. I was only in Miami for one night. I had just gotten off the plane that morning. I was in Miami for one night. I wanted to do this blood work in Miami before I was going to shoot up to New York for uh, 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 for Thanksgiving dinner, and I didn't want to. And the reason why is I'm cheap. I'm a cheap bastard, and New York and New Jersey charge you an extra $300 to do blood work. So Function Health charges $365, but if you're gonna do your blood work in New York and New Jersey, the state itself charges an extra $300 because they're assholes. And I didn't want to drive 3 hours to Pennsylvania and back to get my blood work done at a proper blood clinic. And so I needed to get it done in Miami. I was staying at a friend's house because we were playing poker that night. I'm in Miami. We're gonna play poker. That's what I do. Every time I go to Miami, we play poker at a house game with friends. So I got very little sleep. I did a mistake of going to the gym early in the morning. That will skew your blood results. I did not know that, or I spaced out. I fucked up. And then I was doing so much blood on this day. On top of the full blood panel. So this is the full blood panel, and this is the follow-up blood panel. The follow-up blood panel is like 65 markers, and this can be done in one session. Function Health recommends when you do the full blood panel, you split it up over 2 days so that you're in a better, relaxed state when they're drawing your blood. Not only did I request from Function Health to do everything in one day, because they said on their app, you should do this over 2 days, schedule 2 appointments within 7 days of each other, ideally at the same time, ideally in the same state. I said, guys, I don't have the time. I'm only in America for like 5 days. I'm going to New York. I don't want to drive for 3 hours. I don't want to break up my Thanksgiving weekend. The blood places might be closed. Please let me do all the blood in one appointment in Miami. And, the patient can always be right. So they said, sure. And they scheduled all my blood work for that one day. In addition, I requested um, a tox panel, which required, Control Z. I requested a tox panel, which required extra blood. I requested a food sensitivity panel, which required extra blood. And I requested, this cost me like an extra $500 or something, or $600. And I requested an advanced vitamin panel. I wanted to know my copper levels. I wanted to know my folate levels. I wanted to know my vitamin E, my vitamin B. So you see this for the first time in my blood work. So I requested 3 additional tests on top of the fact that this was the big version anyway. I sat there at the doctor's office, and I'm watching the blood tech like take out like 25 to 30 vials of blood, and my eyes just went like this. I'm like, holy shit! It's like more blood than probably in a blood donation, and I am on minimal sleep, bad recovery, workout in the morning, and I almost passed out during the blood draw. Um, they my I usually draw blood on my left arm. Uh, it stopped. They had to put a needle in my other arm to draw the rest of the blood. I got lightheaded. I almost passed out. A second tech had to come in with like a fan because I can show you on my Whoop, my heart rate, it spikes to like 170 and then it crashes to like 40. I've never almost passed out in my life, and this was for the first time in my life. Well, I did have a concussion, so I have passed out. I had a big fall, I had a concussion, but other than that, like from like day to day stuff, I literally came as close to passing out as I could. And when that was happening, whatever blood that they drew during the time of me almost passing out while still, and she was like, okay, last one, last one. And I'm like, I'm literally like they gave me water. I'm like drinking water, trying not to pass out. So any one of these things will skew your blood work. Bad sleep, um, a bad sleep, working out in the morning, and drawing too much blood. I made all three mistakes. Do not make these mistakes. If you are going in for a blood draw and you are tired, you didn't get good sleep, you didn't have the perfect morning, if you don't feel 100%, you cancel the appointment and you reschedule. This is so important. You're only doing one blood test a year, maybe two. I do three. Don't waste it. Don't waste your multi-$100 blood draw through a day where the blood is going to be garbage. Make sure you are well rested. Super important. All right, let's get back to Tone Vase's blood and review. My glucose runs high. I did my best to justify it and make up excuses as to why my fasted glucose is so high. Honestly, I don't know why it's so high. This may be something I need to investigate further. But insulin is so much more important, and my insulin is very low, and it's perfect. My insulin is perfect, and it's way more important than your blood glucose level. If your doctor does not check your insulin, go find a new doctor. This is a metric that every single doctor should have on your blood work. This is not one of these advanced things. This is something that is very easy to do for every doctor. And if your doctor does not check and discuss your insulin level with you, you need a new doctor. Don't ever go to this guy again. Ever. Okay? Now, everyone loves A1C. I think A1C is a very flawed metric. I do not like A1C. A1C is your 3-month average blood glucose level in your blood cells. Okay, it assumes a 90-day life cycle. But here's the problem with A1C. You are not an average person. You are an individual. There is no such thing as an average person. So assuming that your red blood cells live 90 days, in my opinion, is kind of stupid. Unless you are actually checking the average life of your red blood cells, don't assume that they die in 90 days. If you have a conventional, clean-ish diet, they probably die in 90 days. But here's the problem, okay? If you are on a carnivore diet, if you are on a ketogenic diet, if you're on a very healthy diet, your blood cells can live as much as 25% longer. And if you are on a very shitty diet, if you eat a lot of refined sugar, if you eat a lot of seed oils, if you eat a lot of fried food, your red blood cells are probably dying 25% faster. So, what does that mean for your A1C? I have a playlist right here. By the way, I'm looking to have a playlist for every one of these blood markers. So if you're ever curious what the hell this blood marker is, there will be a link right here to the playlist that would educate you about this specific blood marker. I mean, this is going to take me a year to do, but that is hopefully the future of this spreadsheet. So most people on healthy diets like carnivore and keto, their red blood cells will live 25% longer. That means their A1C could be as high as 25% higher because of the life of their red blood cells. If you want to learn more, check out this playlist on why carnivores have consistently higher A1C and occasionally higher glucose levels because of their diet. Like just this whole concept that you should eat, shitty carbs to lower your glucose levels is insane. Okay. But this is why my personal A1C can go up to 6, and your regular doctor will consider A1C of 5.7 as diabetic. And functional medicine would actually want it a little bit tighter. But because I am 95% carnivore, my A1C can run very, very high. The healthier you are, the longer your red blood cells live, the more sugar those blood cells will accumulate, the higher your A1C is going to be. But that's not because it's full of sugar. It's because your red blood cells lived longer and they were able to accumulate more. Okay. Now, EGFR and HOMO-AR, these are formulas, these are ratios. You can look into that later. Now, my uric acid is a little bit on the high side, but uric acid is the main cause of gout. However, I do not have any gout symptoms, so I don't care if my uric acid is high. That is probably the result of my carnivore diet that gives me high uric acid. But a high uric acid marker is irrelevant if it's not causing you any issues. So ideally, I would like to lower my uric acid, but it's not that important to me because I don't have any gout symptoms. In fact, even if my uric acid got as high as 10, but if I didn't have any symptoms, who cares? It's very possible that they are incorrect in assuming that uric acid is the only cause of gout. Okay, yes, uric acid will be high if you have gout, but it may not be the only factor in your gout. So, anyway, I'm going to leave that one be. Now, my triglycerides run very, very low. The functional medicine practitioner that I consulted with was very concerned over my triglyceride levels. However, when you are on a carnivore diet, wait, I have it in another playlist. In this YouTube video description, there are links to other playlists. One of those playlists is my cholesterol playlist, cholesterol truth. The link is in the video description. There was a guy here. Do I have it? Maybe I don't have it. Yeah, I have it somewhere. Um, Maybe some. There was a guy that measured his triglycerides every day for like a month and plotted it on a chart, and he basically saw such a massive fluctuation. Your triglycerides will spike to over 300 after you eat a meal, and then they will crash to about 30 or 40 the longer you are fasted. Right now, my triglycerides are probably in the 20s. Okay, so doing your blood work at 8 hours fasted will probably give you a triglyceride over 100, and doing your blood work at 12 hours fasted will probably give you a triglyceride below 50, especially when you're on a healthy keto or carnivore diet. So my triglyceride being this low in the 40s, I think it's okay. And I think it's pretty good. All right. Now, cholesterol. My goal is to have cholesterol between 200 and 250. Should probably raise this. I'm actually going to go 200 to 270. And 200 is on the low side. I almost want to go 210. I don't want to be anywhere close to 200. This is my total cholesterol. Okay. I did this range a while ago. I should review it and slightly adjust it. HDL is considered good cholesterol. I want this to be no more than 100, but as close to 100 as possible. 80 is perfect. 80 is perfect. 73, I feel, is a little bit low for me. I want it closer to 80 to 90. I want to be right in the middle of this range, 80 to 90. Okay? For HDL, we don't have to discuss HDL. Everyone thinks of HDL as good. Everyone thinks of LDL as bad cholesterol. That is a mistake. LDL is equally as good as HDL. LDL is equally as important as HDL. Now, we're going to talk about why people think LDL is bad. Now, I want my LDL to be between 100 and 175. I want it to be in the middle of this range. 100 is probably too low, but I didn't want to make this too high because I'm already starting mine at 100, and conventional medicine ends theirs at 100. I'll take a look at your comments after, guys. Now, 137 is the highest LDL cholesterol I have had in the last year. I'm trying to get it up. I'm trying to get this to 150. I've been eating like 6 eggs a day. I'm doing my best. I'm absolutely doing my best to raise my LDL cholesterol to 150 because LDL cholesterol is so important for your brain function, for your testosterone, for so many things. Now, here is the problem. The problem is VLDL. That is the very low density lipoprotein. VLDL is the dangerous cholesterol. And VLDL is a formula. You can calculate it yourself. On your blood work, you may have a metric called non-HDL cholesterol. These are almost the same thing. So if I click on the formula for non-HDL cholesterol, you calculate non-HDL cholesterol by taking your total cholesterol and subtracting HDL. See, your total cholesterol, just do the math. What is 137 plus 73? Well, 130 plus 70 is 200, and 7 plus 3 is 10. So this is 210. So if HDL plus LDL is 210, how come your total cholesterol is 224? Where is the missing 14? Well, the missing 14 is your VLDL. That is the danger. VLDL is the real danger. Okay? Non-HDL is taking your total and subtracting your HDL. So 224 minus 73 gives you 151. So 151 is your LDL plus VLDL. Very simple math. 5th grade math, not even. 3rd grade math, okay? VLDL is the one that is dangerous. And if your VLDL is 40, you are a heart attack waiting to happen. If your LDL is even 30, you are a heart attack waiting to happen, okay? Conventional range says 5 to 40. I mean, I don't think it'll ever be 0. But hey, if you can get this to 0, great. Technically, this should have no bottom range, right? Like, I don't know if it serves any good purpose in your body, but you need to get this down. I want this to be less than 15. It's coming in at 14, and that is great, okay? As long as this is less than 15, I don't care how high my LDL goes, okay? Now, you have all these ratios of cholesterol to HDL, LDL to HDL. Sure, not as important to me, okay? Now, let's break down LDL, okay? What is so dangerous about LDL? LDL in itself is not dangerous. However, LDL small is dangerous. LDL small and LDL pattern. The most important thing on your lipid panel, on your cholesterol panel, will be your LDL pattern size and your LDL small number of particles. This and this. This is, for me, this is the most important thing on my blood work. Okay, when it comes to cholesterol, not overall, but when it comes to cholesterol. Now, conventional medicine, this is the number of HDL particles in my body. This is the number of LDL particles in my body. You can see that the number of LDL particles has significantly dropped from my prior blood work. I don't know why. I think, I don't know why it's so low. I would have expected it to be higher. I don't have an explanation. Could be my bad blood day, but it shouldn't affect this particular metric. You can see conventional medicine, once your total LDL particles, this is the total, to be less than 1138. I don't know why they picked this number. I mean, 11, I'm going to round. I just don't like these random numbers. I want it to be between 1,000 and 3,000, okay? And it's above 1,000, but I don't mind it being 3,000. Now, LDL medium is borderline problematic cholesterol, but LDL small is problematic cholesterol. Now, let me show you something. Artery plaque. Perfect. Let's go to images. Okay, when they say cholesterol causes heart disease, what do they mean? Okay, nope, that's a terrible picture. This is no, it's a bad picture as well. This is a good picture. Let's go to this picture. Jesus Christ. Open image in new tab. There we go. Let's go to this picture. Okay. This is a clean artery. Notice the little lining of that artery. This is plaque. This is LDL small and damaged cholesterol. LDL cholesterol does not penetrate the lining, but LDL small penetrates the lining. I'm going to use, I think it's a Gary Brecka analogy. Think of two balls of identical weight. One is a big beach ball full of air, and the other is one is a big beach ball full of air, and the other is a little tiny lead pellet. A little tiny full of lead pellet. The beach ball and the lead pellet weigh the same. If I'm in your house and I'm holding the beach ball in one hand and a tiny lead pellet in the other, and I throw the beach ball as hard as I can against your wall, will it cause any damage? Absolutely not. But if I take the little piece of lead that weighs exactly the same as the beach ball and I throw it against the wall, I'm gonna damage your wall. This is what LDL small does. LDL small, which gets created from the VLDL, will penetrate your lining and start to push the lining in. And this doesn't happen from one side, it happens from both sides. And this is why LDL cholesterol is blamed for clogging your arteries. But it's not LDL cholesterol's fault. It is the small, damaged LDL. And the way to prevent your body from creating small, damaged LDL is to stop eating all of the crap I discussed. Oh, wrong document. Is to stop eating, again, wrong document. Oh, wait, I'm not even on screen share. Good. The way to prevent small damaged LDL is to stop eating this crap. Stop the seed oils, stop the processed foods, stop the sugar, stop all sugary syrups, stop eating grains, pasta, rice, all that shit. Stop eating corn, anything with non-natural ingredients, anything with food coloring, even alcohol. Stop eating the bad stuff, and you will reverse all of these problems. You will reverse your small LDL. You will lower the number of small LDL particles. You will turn your LDL pattern from pattern B to pattern A. It should be pattern A. Pattern A means it's larger than pattern B. It's the size. You can see it right here in my notes. Okay. Um, it's on different tests show you that there's an ion panel, there's an NMR panel, there's a GGE panel. I believe mine is a GGE. Different blood clinics do it different ways, but an advanced blood test will show you your average particle size and the pattern. My peak size is a little bit low, but it's okay. My pattern is A. And the other metric that I look for on the blood work, when you do advanced blood work, the blood work wants your LDL small to be less than 142 particles, but they want your total particles to be less than 1150. So for me, my metric is I want my LDL small to be less than 15% of my LDL total. I know this is a little bit above 15%, but I still think it's optimal. Okay. So look, it was only 13%. So this is the important part when it comes to LDL. Okay. I don't have time to talk about alipoproteins. My lipoprotein B is a little bit on the high side. I need to do a little bit of research on this. I'm not going to talk about something I don't have in-depth knowledge of. So this is something I marked as high. And by the way, on my blood work, if it's in yellow, that means it is slightly out of the range. I call it elevated or depressed. Depressed means I'm not depressed. It means that the metric is a little bit depressed. It's below optimal, and I want it to be optimal. And if it says high, or if it says low, and it's an orange, that means it's a bigger problem. It's something that I need to deal with more urgently. And if it was red, it would say very high and very low. But as you can see on my blood work, there is nothing here that is in red. Maybe one day there will be something that is in red, but hopefully there won't even be orange going in the future. But anything that is super high or super low would be in red, marked as very high or very low. Let's move on down the pipe. Let's talk about the thyroid. This is going to be a long stream, guys. As long as my battery lasts, and I'm not even going to finish all my blood work. Before we talk about the thyroid, we need to talk about the adrenal system. When I started my journey, when I started this journey of going from this to this in 6 months, I don't want to simplify it too much, but I already knew that the most important thing I needed to do to get from here to here is to lower my stress, lower my cortisol. So I'm going to use the word stress and cortisol interchangeably. Okay. Hi. Okay. So we do have someone that is making comments. DJ Senior. Oh, I know who you are. High ApoB means there are too many atherogenic artery clogging lipoprotein particles in your blood, which significantly increases long-term risk. Well, this is where I slightly disagree. I have to slightly disagree with that because what damages the blood is LDL small, and my LDL small is in check. My LDL pattern is also in check. So there's a little bit of a misalignment here with ApoB. Either this marker was inaccurate, which happens, or it didn't, something is off. Like this, let's put it this way. It's always ran a little bit high, but now it's running very high. And it doesn't match the rest of my blood work for some reason. So like I said, I need more research on alipoprotein B. It could also be a flawed metric in general, just like I consider A1C a flawed metric. So some of these metrics are a little bit flawed, in my opinion. I could be wrong. This is just my non-professional opinion. But I am going to prioritize learning more about ApoB because on my last blood work, it came back in the orange. And anything that's in the orange requires more attention for my research. Now, let's get back to this image. I knew that the only way I am going from here to here is by lowering my base stress levels. I was very stressed going into the summer of 25. My event business was not doing well. I was starting to actually get depressed over how shitty my body was looking. I was not in a good mental state. I ended a multi-year relationship. Uh, uh, with a girl. And anyway, I was not in a great mental state over my businesses, over my career, over what I was doing, or what my future was going to be. So I wanted to change all that. And I didn't even know how important sleep was. But what I did know is I needed to shut down a bunch of businesses, relax my life, be less stressed over life, relax more, basically try to live more like a hippie that smokes weed all day without the weed. Okay, there's one thing a broke weed smoking hippie has on a big part of the population: he's not stressed. And stress is an absolute killer. Look at Warren Buffett. The guy drinks Coca-Cola every day. How is he living to 130 years old? He's doing it because he's like the least stressed person in the world. He chills, he plays golf all day, he makes billions of dollars, which helps him be relaxed. But there are many billionaires that are stressed out of their mind, okay? But Warren Buffett survives this long because of his very low stress. Stress is a killer. So I needed to lower my cortisol levels, lower my stress, and live a better lifestyle. And mission accomplished. Let me show you. My cortisol level dropped from 12.4 in December of last year to 8.2 this year. Now, this cortisol level is probably a little bit higher because of my horrible blood day, which I already discussed. However, there's an asterisk here. Measuring your cortisol with blood is a terrible way to measure your cortisol. Right here, the best way to measure your cortisol is with something called a Dutch test. I have not done the Dutch test yet, okay? I have also not done the stool test yet. I have my blood work is done through Function Health, and please use the affiliate link in the description. I'm giving you all this free information. There's no ads, there's no sponsors. So the only thing I ask in return is if you are going to sign up for any of these products, use my affiliate link. If you use my affiliate link, I make $100 one time, not a continuous thing. Function Health charges you $350. Out of that $350, they will pay me $100, full disclosure. And one time, if you renew the following year and pay another $350, I make zero money, okay? So it's not like you're making me rich. Toxicity I did. We're going to talk about my toxicity report on a future video. And I recently submitted my true age test for my organ age. And we're going to talk about my DNA report, my DNA health in a future video because I have that report as well. So the best way to measure your cortisol is with a saliva test through a Dutch test. This is better than nothing, okay? And I was very happy to see that my cortisol level dropped, my base cortisol. Your cortisol spikes in the morning, lowers in the evening. And depending on what time of day you take the test, your cortisol is going to be at a very different level, okay? Lowering your cortisol is absolutely critical for your thyroid function and also for your hormone function. So we're going to start this in order. Lowering cortisol is critical. That's your adrenal system. Lowering your cortisol will improve your thyroid levels. Let's talk about Tone's thyroid. Hey guys, if you are liking what you're hearing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Please leave all comments below the video. I am reading all of them. I'm reading all of your comments. I'm getting 5,000 steps a day on my fasted period. Now, when it comes time to looking at your thyroid, I forgot one. Okay. When it comes time to looking at your thyroid, you need to make sure you have as close to 0 antibodies as possible. If your thyroid is showing antibodies, that means you have a thyroid issue. Okay. You can see that my TPO antibodies are slightly elevated, and they went from 10 to 11. It's not good, but it's not concerning. TPO antibodies can go into the hundreds. You can see conventional medicine wants it below 34, functional medicine, which is way better, wants it below 10. I want it below 9. Mine are 10 and 11, my last two readings, okay? Elevated. Antibodies show up only when there is an issue, okay? Antibodies control how much TSH gets created. Now, TSH is the driver of your thyroid function, and thyroid governs so much in your body. Okay, I have a playlist on thyroid. I should probably link it into here, but I want to curate these playlists. I should have probably added it into the description. I might put it in there. Now, when the TPO antibodies are not able to go high enough to keep your TSH in check, you then start to develop TG antibodies. If you have any TG antibodies, usually show up when your TPO antibodies are are in the triple digits. It's possible that TG antibodies show up earlier, but it'll be rare. Again, I'm not an expert, guys. I'm an expert at my own blood. Now, when your body, I have notes here, by the way. I have notes. I made notes. I'm trying to do this from memory. It's so hard to do this from memory. An antibody that is only present in the system if there is a thyroid issue. If this is high, but TSH is in normal range, which is me, could present early signs of issues as your body needs help producing a proper amount of TSH, right? TSH converts to T4, and then T4 converts to T3. T3 is the one that is actually usable. So everything above T3 is meant to create T3. T3 is the most important part of your thyroid, and T3 needs to be within optimal levels. There is a lot of debate what those optimal levels are. Some blood clinics measure free T3, and other blood clinics measure total T3. Free T3 is a little more important to know than total T3. It kind of sucks that Function Health only gives me free T3 and not the total. And FitScript Bloodwork only gives me total T3, but not the free. So I wish blood clinics would give you both numbers, but either of these numbers is important, and you measure it against the range. Okay, so this is in different units. You can see the unit here is ng per dl, and the unit here is pg per ml. I have my units in here as well. I'm a researcher, and maybe I'm a little autistic when it comes to this stuff, but doing this spreadsheet was not easy, guys. And I started this about 6 months ago, doing this spreadsheet. This is what I do. Like when they say, "Oh, Tone, you have no job." This is my job, and it's not easy, especially when you have 1,000 people, critiquing it because they see it publicly. Now, TSH in range will then create a T4. You can see that my T4 is on the upper end of the range. So my TSH, which is in range slightly due to the help of antibodies, which I would love to bring to 0 and still have a properly functioning TSH. Your doctor will only check TSH, by the way. He's not going to go any further. This is the problem with conventional blood tests. You need more information. By the way, I have zero knowledge on how to fix a thyroid issue. I just have knowledge on how to recognize that a thyroid issue exists. I have zero knowledge on how to fix it because I don't need to fix mine. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to help you with yours. Full disclaimer. My TSH is in line. It's producing a lot of T4. I'm almost above range. But look at my free T3 that is the usable part of T4. It is on the very bottom end of the range. So I am producing a lot of T4, but very little T3. Yes, they are both in the green, but I already have a problem. The T3 to T4 ratio, which is a formula of this to this, my T3 to T4 ratio is 2, which is way below, not way below, but it is too low. And that's a problem. My body has a bit of a problem converting T4 to T3. While this isn't a concerning problem, it's not affecting my health, but it's something I need to be aware of why my body is not properly converting T4 to T3. Maybe I need more iodine. Maybe I need more zinc. These are all important factors in your thyroid. Now, when you meet someone that has a goiter, their thyroid is trying to absorb every ounce of iodine in your body. And by trying to absorb every ounce of iodine in your body, your thyroid starts to grow very large in order to absorb more iodine. So maybe I need to check into some supplements that would help me convert my T4 into T3. But before I go the supplement route, I want to do everything I can to naturally balance this. So with my high T4 production, I should be on the higher range of T3 production. I should be closer to 3.0 6 instead of 3.1. These are also in different units. NG and PG are, this is NG per deciliter, this is PG per milliliter. So always be aware of the units you're measuring. This is why this number looks smaller than this number. And this is also why this T4 total is 7.7 and T43, which is derived from T4 total, is 92. But that's because this is in UG per deciliter and this is NG per deciliter. So this is divided by 100 or 1,000. I don't remember. Anyway, just be aware there's multiple units involved. Okay. I'm not going to talk about inflammation. We have so much more to cover. I can't cover it all, guys. Albumin is a bit important. Mine came in a smidge low. I don't know why. You can hear the rain behind me, guys. Look at this. It's beautiful. I can't be in the rain. I'm trying to avoid all liquid touching my body as I'm in the dry fast. So albumin is a very important metric. Don't have time to get into it. But it also has to do with your free testosterone. But we're going to get back to albumin later. Liver function. I'm not going to get into liver function. Considering how much alcohol I've drank throughout my entire life, look how perfect my liver markers are. And this is under the tone vase, very strict contracted range. Like conventional range, one should be between 36 and 130. I wanted between 45 and 90. And even within this range, maybe I'm a little close to the low end, but look how perfect my liver function is. My bilirubin total, I need to review what that is myself, moves blood to the liver. If elevated, could be a bacterial overgrowth in the gut. I mean, it's not that low, but if I had bacterial overgrowth in the gut, this dry fast will definitely take care of that problem. Okay. I came in a little bit low at 0.4. This could be my stressed out blood day, as I explained earlier. I already talked about BUN earlier in the podcast, and I already talked about creatinine earlier in the podcast. So this is your kidney function, and mine is perfect as well. I didn't even look into these two things because they've always been perfect on my blood work. And when something is perfect on my blood work, I save it for last. So I have absolutely no idea what these two things are. I did not do any research on my pancreas because I didn't need to. Now, electrolytes, very important. Very important blood markers, guys. Super important. As you can see, in July, my electrolytes were all perfect. And again, we are looking at it against the tone vase optimal range, not the conventional range. In the conventional range, I am perfect across the board. 136 is perfect in conventional range. 99 is perfect in conventional range. Tone vase is a little bit more strict. This is my personal range adjusted for my lifestyle diet. This is the optimal range that you should aim for if you have not made your own range with your own research on your own lifestyle, which I have. My sodium came in a few points too low, which is very strange because I eat a lot of salt. This could be due to my terrible blood day. I worked out in the morning. I had bad sleep. I'm not even sure if I took my electrolyte mix. I, I, I think this is not a problem for me. And my chloride level, which normally runs on the higher side, came in on the low side. My calcium runs on the higher side, which is why I'm thinking of removing calcium from my electrolyte super formula. This is my super formula for electrolyte mix. I do this myself. I talked about it in the last video. These are the ingredients that I buy. I gotta put my Amazon affiliate links for them, but whoa, it is really coming down. How's my audio, guys? Please confirm the audio. It is raining cats and dogs. It is pouring rain. Look at this. You can see the rain. Tropical island. I love it. You're not going to die of thirst on this island. By the way, small pause before I forget. Where the hell is my Google map? I'm always missing my Google map. Small pause while the rain is pouring down. My computer is charging off of a portable charger for now. I am here. I am in Las Verandas Resort. I am right here. If anybody wants to, if Donald Trump wants to send one of his attack drones, I am right here. I am in this villa. I'm currently sitting on this balcony. Okay? This is where I am right now. My prior videos were coming from one of these villas. I'm not going to say which one because I'm still staying there for another month. So I was staying in one of these villas for my prior streams. Today, I am in this villa right here. Las Verandas. Beautiful resort. Absolutely gorgeous. I am in... no, you can't see my villa here. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, this is what the villas look like. All right, rain's come down. Man, that was pouring. Trying to find the villa I'm in. That's a nice picture. Boom. I'm in this villa here. There it is. Walked down to the beach this morning, did not go in. I'm in this villa here. In case anyone's wondering how much this villa is, this is a 2-bedroom villa, 2-story, 2-bedroom villa, 2 bedrooms, 2 independent entrances to the bedrooms. Like one bedroom is part of the main villa, and the upstairs bedroom where I am is a completely separate entrance. This villa was $500 a night or less, like $480 a night, and we split it. We split the cost. One of my friends just wanted a villa by the beach, and I said, fine, I'll pay half. So we're going to split it. If you have a family, $400 a night for something like this, absolutely incredible. I'm doing a hard dry fast. Please watch prior videos. Let's go back to the blood work. Nope, that's not it. Blood work. My electrolytes are, I think they're okay. I don't think this is much of a concern. Please look at my notes when you have access to the spreadsheet on what these things mean. Very important section. Very important. Vitamin D needs to be in purple. I care about this metric very much. When I first did my blood test, my vitamin D was 37, which is insanely low. I want my vitamin D to be between 60 and 90. On my last blood test, it came back 56, and I was disappointed. 65 is okay. I really want this around 70. I'm doing my best to get my vitamin D up. I do not take any vitamin D supplements. I try to get it naturally from the sun, and some of it is in clean food. Uh, zinc levels. I really want my zinc levels to be above 90. I am failing. I need to eat more oysters. But unless I'm in Miami where I can buy oysters for under $1, or it's really hard. Oysters are expensive. Uh, get your zinc in. Also, something the average person doesn't know, every time, well, I don't, this is for a males only. So for my male audience, every time you ejaculate, you lose a massive amount of zinc. Am I still live? Yeah, live. Every time you ejaculate, you lose a massive amount of zinc. Like, I don't know, somewhere between 30 and 50% of your zinc levels. So if you have a very active sexual lifestyle or have very active hands, you need to really keep your zinc levels up, and you may need to supplement. So just keep that in mind. In my last blood work, I tested additional vitamins. This cost me money. This cost like an extra few $100s, I think. But I wanted to get my vitamin A marker, and it came back at 58. I have not done any research. If you see a blank on the tone vase optimal score, I have not had time. I did this blood work in November. I have not researched any of these things. So I have absolutely no clue what my vitamin level should be. Conventional says 38 to 98, but who the hell knows what the optimal is? This is on my future to-do list. I have no idea. I marked it as green based on conventional, but I may do some research, and this may not be optimal. I have no idea. Same thing for my vitamin B, my B9. We're going to talk about the B vitamins in a future stream. This is a good time to talk about homocysteine. My homocysteine is high. Huge bonus points for anyone that knows one of the main reasons why homocysteine comes in high. Go ahead and answer while I finish talking about this. I wanted to see my vitamin E levels. I eat a lot of avocado, which is a great source of vitamin E. So I'm not surprised my vitamin E levels are so good. Avocado is a staple in my diet. Okay. Guys, if you are asking me questions about the dry fast, please go back and watch episode 1. This is episode 5 or 6. Okay? If you're asking questions that have already been thoroughly discussed for an hour, just go back and watch the beginning of the series. Don't be lazy. Folate deficiency, B12 deficiency. Now, I am a carnivore. Meat is full of B vitamins. How can tone vase be deficient in folate, be borderline deficient in vitamin B? There's no way. I think the real vitamin B range should be a lot higher. I am borderline deficient in methylcobalamin B12, and I am deficient in folate B9. How can that be if all I do is eat meat all day? Does anyone have an answer? And my homocysteine is high. That's the $1 million question. The $1 million question. Let's see if someone can answer it. Folate deficiency has to do with the gene. 30% of Europeans have it. Which gene? Take methylfolate to make up for it. Correct. What's the gene? I started taking methylfolate after this blood test. After this latest blood test, I started taking methylfolate and methylcobalamin. It's all in one pill. We're going to talk about my supplement stack in a future video. Here is the gene. And we're going to talk about my DNA and genes as well. This is my methylation pathway. This is literally mine. This isn't a general picture. This is literally the tone vase methylation pathway. Okay? Right here. Methylation pathway, tone vase, October of this past year. There I am. My height, my weight. My weight's incorrect. I was not 160. I didn't have a scale. I guessed 160. It was more like 150, or even, yeah, it was closer to, it was probably less than 150. But the weight doesn't matter. It's my genes, right? This is my personal methylation pathway. This right here is a problem. I have the double mutation variant for MTHFR, also known as the motherfucker gene. And this is the reason why I've been running suboptimally my entire life. And I've done pretty well in my life. But this goes to here. And from here, everything is affected. This is not creating proper 5-MTHF. So my MTR levels are deficient. And not only are my MTR levels are deficient, the MTR is an orange. And orange also means that it's deficient. So not only this is double deficient, this is red. Red is bad. Red is very bad. Orange is bad. Blue is okay. And green is very good. But very good is irrelevant inside this circle, because this very bad has prevented the good shit from getting into here in the first place. This is a whole different podcast, but you need to get your DNA tested to know. Let me show you how bad MTHFR is. It may not be on this report. There's another report. Let me grab you guys another report. I have it somewhere. No, I don't have it. I'm in the 13th percentile. I'm in the 13% population of double mutation MTHFR. It's I can't believe I've been functioning this optimally up to this point in my life. This is a self decode. I'm gonna talk about self decode next week. There will be a whole video on my DNA stuff. But if you are gonna sign up for self decode just from watching this video, please go to the Tone Vase YouTube channel, and there is an affiliate link right here for self decode. So please use it. You'll help me out. You'll send me $100 by not paying me directly. There are no ads. There is no. I have no. I'm not monetizing this. I'm not going to be a life coach. I'm not going to be a health coach. Don't ask me to pay me money to give you health advice. This is it. I'm just telling you what I did to go from here to here. And by the way, I just started taking methylfolate like a month ago. I started taking because I learned and I did my full research for like 3 months to fully understand it. Before I take any vitamin, I want to fully understand it. So I had to check my folate levels to make sure that they're low, and my B12 levels to make sure they're not I think they're on the low side. And my homocysteine was high. And therefore, that along with hard proof that I have the double mutation, the double variant, I shouldn't call it mutation, double variant for MTHFR, which means both of my parents are MTHFR deficient. And because they're both deficient, they both passed on the deficiency to me. When it's in orange, that means one of your parents passed on uh, the variant to you, but I got it from both, not just from one. Okay, and taking a methylated B vitamin should help, and I'll talk about which methylated B vitamin I'm taking in the supplement video that I will do. So this is why blood work is so important, and this is why advanced blood work is so important. I have to pay extra to get my vitamin panel, just so you guys know. Okay, now let's talk about red blood cells. Jesus, we still have so much to go. We still have to talk about male hormones and testosterone. Oh my God. Okay, let's talk about, this is going to be quick. I think my iron levels are too high. For me, okay, so hemoglobin is important. All right, my homocysteine levels are not that high, right? Conventional would say I'm fine if it's under 11.4. I want it under 7. Mine's coming in the 8s. So it's not like it's crazy high, but it is high. It's actually surprisingly low considering I have the double variant of MTHFR. I am planning to do a blood donation to lower my iron. The problem is the last time I went to give a blood donation, I got rejected for the blood donation on 3 different levels. I got rejected on 3 different levels. I was in Panama. I went to give a blood donation and I got rejected on 3 levels. First of all, I went to give a blood donation after coming from the dentist, and you're not allowed to give a blood donation within 7 days of any dental issues. Now, why was I at the dentist? I was removing all mercury from my teeth. Um, if you're going to remove mercury from your teeth, make sure you go to a holistic dentist. They actually care about your teeth. Just like your regular dentist is just there to fix a problem, a holistic dentist is actually trying to help you solve the problem. And they completely protected my mouth from any mercury pieces from going down my throat. I had 6 teeth with mercury fillings because when I was a kid, all I was eating was sugar. So I had all these cavities, which I haven't had any dental issues in a decade. And I still have a screw in a root canal that I need to eliminate. I want all metal out of my mouth. Anyway, you're not allowed to do a blood donation after coming from the dentist. My white blood cells were all out of whack, probably because I was injected with Novocaine while at the dentist earlier that day. And the final thing that got me rejected, so you needed to be in Panama for a full month, which I was. I was like, maybe like 27, 28 days. But apparently in Panama, you can't give a blood donation if you've had sex with a non-permanent partner within the last 3 or 6 months or something. So unless it's your live-in girlfriend or your wife or fiance, so unless it's a permanent lifelong partner, if you had sex within the last 3 months, then you're not allowed to give a blood donation. So I don't ever remember that when I was doing a blood donation in college, but apparently in Latin America that's a rule. All right. Um, iron. Your doctor will measure iron serum. Iron serum is almost irrelevant. Iron serum represents 1% of your total body iron. 65% of the iron in your body is in your red blood cells, which is measured through hemoglobin. And the other 30% of your iron is in ferritin. So trying to identify whether you have an iron problem through iron serum, which is the only thing your doctor will check, is just retarded. Okay. Now, my iron serum came back with low iron levels. Low iron levels as measured by tone vase, not measured by conventional medicine. So if, let's say, the doctor used the tone vase range, the doctor would tell me that I'm low on iron. The problem is this is 1% of the iron in your body. 30% of the iron in your body is measured through ferritin, and my ferritin above range. So in order to lower ferritin, you kind of need to go for a blood donation. So I eventually, when I find some time, need to go for a blood donation and get rid of some iron. Women have a huge advantage here because they have their periods every single month and they are losing blood every month. Therefore, they are basically doing a blood donation. It's just going into the garbage. So women tend to run iron deficient, uh, and they're very rarely run high iron because they have a way of bleeding, which men do not. Now, TIBC. TIBC is your body's desire to acquire more iron. So when you are low on iron, you will see your TIBC rise dramatically. Okay. Uh, so if your TIBC is high, your body wants more iron. But if your TIBC is high and your ferritin is high, ferritin is your iron reserve. If your iron reserve is high and your desire for iron is high, you have a problem. I have no idea how to fix your problem. I have no advice on how to fix the problem, but you have a big problem. TIBC should not be high when ferritin is high. TIBC should be high when ferritin is low. And when ferritin is high, your TIBC should be low. That is your body working normally. When you have a lot of iron, your body should have very little desire for iron. Now, hemoglobin and your red blood cell markers also have a lot to do with iron, but I don't have time to get into it. And also, I'm not as knowledgeable on this part off the top of my head. I have notes here on hemoglobin. Uh, and you can when this marker is high, uh, blood is very thick. Uh, Now contains 65% of iron in the body and is used to carry oxygen. High testosterone drives this marker up. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. So I have notes on these things, but I'm not going to get into the red blood cells. As you can see on my last blood work, my red blood cell count was on the low side. Maybe that was because of my terrible blood day. Okay. Your MVC is the size of your red blood cells. Okay. If your the size of your blood cells is low, it is a lack of iron. And if it's high, it could be a lack of B12, B6, and B9. As you can see, my uh, my mean volume of my red blood cells has always run high, which again confirms my high homocysteine and my low B vitamins. But my B vitamins are low not because I don't eat enough B vitamins. My B vitamins are low is because my methylation pathway is not properly converting the B vitamins that I get from my meat and steak into a usable methylated form of those B vitamins. Okay. And I'm fixing this by taking a methylated B vitamin supplement. Okay. This is how you're supposed to take vitamins. You should only take vitamins for efficiency for deficiency of your body. When your body is deficient in something, you should take a vitamin. If you are taking a B3 vitamin or an omega-3 vitamin or any vitamin, without researching, are you deficient in that vitamin? You are being a sheep. You are a sheep to some influencer. You are a sheep to some guy that said every human being is deficient in X. You need to check before you ingest anything into your body. You have to check if your body is deficient in that thing. After you find out that you are deficient in that thing, you need to do everything you can through your lifestyle, diet, exercise, whatever you need to do to naturally improve that deficiency. If you are not able to improve that deficiency naturally, then you need to supplement. I cannot improve my genetics. There's nothing I can do. And finally, at the age of 46, I started taking a methylated B vitamin. And I think I should solve all of these problems by the time I do my next blood work. I should solve my high homocysteine. I should solve my high MVC. I should improve my folate, and I should feel way better. And I should basically feel way better because I am supplementing for deficiency. I'm not supplementing for the sake of supplementing or because someone did a good video about why everyone is deficient in vitamin D. You check and then you supplement. You check, then you fix your lifestyle, then you supplement. That's the order. Now, I'm going to very briefly talk about white blood cells, and then we're going to move on to the best topic, which is your hormones. And then I'm done. I'm already exhausted. I'm not going to talk about omega-3. Mine is perfect according to convention. I am very, very picky. My omega-6 is too high. My omega-3 is too low, but I'm not eating the oysters and the amount of fish that I normally do. I need to eat more sardines or something and oysters. Okay, white blood cells, real quick. White blood cells supposed to be in these ratios. You have neutrophils, lymphophils. I'm not going to go through. I'm getting tired, guys. I haven't eaten in 4 days or drank water. High neutrophils generally indicate a bacterial infection. High lymphophils generally indicate a viral infection. When they're elevated, they can imply that there are parasites, environmental sensitivity, or allergies. I have bad allergies. You guys all know that. So this is showing you in percent and in quantity. My lymphophils run on the higher end. They usually run on the higher end. Last time they ran on the lower end, which is strange. Because I have allergies, but there's other things than allergies. Monocytes, when they're elevated when infection recovery related. So this is infection related. Eosinophils, elevated usually means allergy. Okay, so this is another allergy one. This one is highly elevated. This is what I mean. Like I knew something was elevated because of my allergies. Now, this first one is supposed to be around 50-60%. And this next one is supposed to be between 30-35%. 3 to 7, this adds up to 100%. So when something is low, something else is high. When something is high, something else is low. So you can see my eosinophils have historically ran very, very high because I have bad allergies. And this last one, basophils, are supposed to be 0. This is supposed to be non-existent. If they are existent, you have a serious problem. Could indicate a severe gut issue, or it's another allergy marker. But if you have basophils that are more than 1%, that means your white blood cells are fighting something very, very serious. My eosinophils are always high. First time they came down to below 3% on my last blood work, but my uh, uh, monocytes came back high. So when I went for my blood work, this was all out of whack. I have it here actually. When I went for my blood work, when I went to donate blood, sorry, not for my blood work. When I went to, you see this is almost empty because when I went to donate blood in Panama, they did a blood test before they allowed me to donate blood to check if my blood is like clean. And it came back crazy spikes on my white blood cells. So this rejected me as well because I literally I literally walked to a blood clinic from the dentist when I was when they removed some cavities, removed some fillings, and replaced them. So I literally had injected Novocaine into my jaw, and that immediately altered my white blood cells. They were fighting an external pathogen in my body, which is Novocaine. Novocaine works, but then your white blood cells basically fix the problem because it doesn't belong there. So my white blood cell counts were all over the place. And this alone would have gotten me rejected from a blood donation because my white blood cells were all over the place. I'm going to hide this because it's not very useful. Hide column. Okay. So that's this is important, but I don't have time to dig into it. And finally, if anyone is still with me, we are on potentially the most important part of this video. Hormones. I know nothing about female hormones. I only investigated my own situation. Let's first talk about my hormone problem. My hormone problem is my free testosterone is too low for my liking. Free testosterone is just like T3 in your thyroid. Free testosterone is the thing that matters the most. Okay, there are multiple calculations of free testosterone. This is the one that took me 3 days to do. You can see the crazy formula that this is to calculate my free testosterone from my other blood markers. Now, the blood work said that my latest free testosterone was 92.7. Conventional medicine will tell me I'm perfectly healthy, but conventional medicine is wrong. Your testosterone should be between 700 and 1100. The doctor wants you between 250 and 1100. I wanted between 700 and 1100, and I want my free testosterone between 150 and 225. You can see that my total testosterone is on the low side of optimal. It actually went down from my last blood work in June. you can see my free testosterone went up, which is very, very good. Okay, went up 20 points. I'm very happy. I am not on TRT. I am trying to avoid TRT at all cost. I still want to have kids one day. Once you're on TRT, your body doesn't produce your own testosterone. You want to have kids, you got to get off TRT. You got to get your actual testosterone back up. I'm trying to avoid TRT at all cost. Okay, and I don't inject any peptides either. And I was still able to go from this to this in 6 months. But doing my blood work was key. It was very important for me to know where my deficiencies are. Now, we're going to work our way backwards. Free testosterone is this ridiculous formula of calculating your free testosterone from your total testosterone. Your total testosterone is made up of 3 things. Your total testosterone is free testosterone. Let me go here. Your total testosterone is free testosterone plus albumin, which I mentioned earlier, plus albumin bound to testosterone, plus SHBG bound to testosterone. So this is why this formula is so complicated. SHBG is a hormone that locks up your testosterone. The higher SHBG, the lower your free testosterone would be. SHBG forms a strong bond with testosterone, and it prevents your testosterone from being used by your body. Okay? So the more SHBG you have, the less useful your testosterone total score is. Now, albumin, which is all the way up here somewhere, is very similar. Albumin also locks up your testosterone from being used, but the bond that the albumin uses to lock up your testosterone is weaker than the bond used by your SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. Okay? I'm doing all of this from memory, guys. And everything I'm saying, I learned in the last 6 months. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I learned and what I did to get my body. And working out is not as important as having this knowledge. Okay. Now, in order to raise your free testosterone, you need to raise your total testosterone and lower your SHBG. How do you lower SHBG is the question. Before we talk about that, let's talk about how do you raise your total testosterone. To raise your total testosterone, you need to lower your stress. We talked about that. You need to have a well-functioning thyroid. We talked about that as well. And you need to increase DHEA. DHEA is the precursor to making testosterone. The more DHEA you have in your body, the more testosterone you are going to make. One of my goals from my first blood work to my recent blood work was to increase DHEA. And you can see what a failure that was. I do not understand how my DHEA is this low. It was low a year ago, and it is now lower. The only thing I can say is This is caused by my terrible blood day draw, which I explained in detail earlier in this 8-hour podcast. And I think this was it. It has to be it. DHEA is increased through lifestyle. DHEA is not something you eat, but a high rich protein diet helps. In order to increase DHEA, which is a precursor to testosterone, the more DHEA, the more testosterone will be made. It's an anti-aging hormone. The less you have, the older you will feel. I don't feel old. I feel young. I think that number is wrong, to be honest with you. To increase DHEA, number one, lower stress. Do some physical activity. Eat healthy fats. Eat protein-rich food with zinc. I have pumpkin seeds listed, oysters. Sleep, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Most important. I should probably edit this. Hold on. Sleep 8 hours and 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is key. Okay. Poor thyroid health will reduce to testosterone conversion. Okay. Your well-functioning thyroid will help convert DHEA into testosterone. Now, if anyone is on TRT or is thinking about doing TRT, what I recommend is before injecting TRT into their body, you need to lower your cortisol. Let me go off screen share. Before getting on TRT, you need to lower your cortisol and stress. You need to optimize your sleep. You need to naturally increase your DHEA with proper diet and exercise. And if all of that does not increase your testosterone, you then may want to supplement with a DHEA supplement. So DHEA supplement. Images. You can literally buy pure DHEA. Well, there's a company called Pure, but I don't know what the best brand is, right? Like, I have no idea. I am strongly considering going on a DHEA supplement if I am not able to raise it naturally. I'm going to give it one more 6 months to a year. I need my DHEA to go up to 350. I need my DHEA at 350. If I am not able to get my DHEA to 350, I will supplement DHEA to get it into the 500 range. And supplementing DHEA should more naturally increase your testosterone without the need for needles. I'm trying to avoid needles at all costs. So fix your lifestyle, fix your diet, fix your sleep, supplement DHEA if it's still subpar, and only then, if all that fails, only then should you consider TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. And when you do testosterone replacement therapy, please keep your total testosterone at 1100. You may want to start injecting TRT, like the more. So if you inject TRT once a month, your TRT will go to like 3000, and then it will slowly go down. If you inject it once a week, may go to 2000 and then it will slowly go down, right? You may want to inject TRT every other day or every day. You want your TRT to be, because remember, if you are artificially injecting TRT, it's a trade-off. The less often you inject it, the bigger the injection dose needs to be, because it's going to wear off a little bit every day. So if you are properly injecting TRT, you need to inject a little bit every day to be optimal. And you still want to keep it at 1100, because when your TRT when your testosterone is too high, that testosterone is going to be converted into estrogen. Estradiol is estrogen. So men need a certain amount of estrogen. You don't want your estrogen to be zero. I think it has some kind of a necessary component, but you don't want your estrogen to be too high. You can see that in June, my estrogen was higher than I liked. And you want to check your estrogen levels. And a lot of people that overdo it on their TRT, that testosterone has nowhere to go. And suddenly their estrogen is through the roof, because their testosterone is so high, their amount of estrogen skyrockets. And what is the doctor say, right? Your TRT clinic has one job. Your TRT clinic has a job to inject you with as much testosterone as they can, because that's their profit margin. The more testosterone they pump into you, the more money they make. So when you have high estrogen levels, because they're overdosing you on testosterone, they then give you a pill to lower your estrogen, which again goes back to doctors only learn how to prescribe pills and not solve any of your problems. So uh, keep an eye on your estrogen, and your lifestyle should reduce estrogen. The more belly fat you have, the more testosterone to estrogen you're going to convert. So, oh shit, I'm not on screen share. Fuck me. Um, but you guys get the point. Sorry, I wasn't on screen share. Um, Here are my estrogen numbers. Estrogen is 34, which is optimal. A little bit on the high side, but it's still optimal. Okay, so your belly fat will convert testosterone into estrogen, and there are other factors. Okay, so when, like I said, when you take a lot of artificial TRT, you're probably going to run estrogen high. And that is why you may consider lowering the dose of your TRT in order to stay in range here under 11. And finally, I want to comment on FSH. FSH is a fertility hormone, and it is something I need to get down. It's a little bit on the high side. And the good news is, if I have a low chance of getting, I have a, not low, but my chances of accidentally impregnating a girl are lower, but my chances of purposefully impregnating a girl are also lower. This may have something to do with my constant saunas, because sauna does have slight, you know, it does cause some infertility issues, but they're temporary, they're not permanent. So if I am in a position where I'm trying to get a girl pregnant, this is something I need to get into the optimal range. It may look very high. I marked it as high, but I think this number goes into the hundreds. So it's not crazy high as well. I forgot to talk about luteinizing hormone. Fuck me. Um, I'm tired, guys, but I need to finish. My luteinizing hormone ran high on my last blood test. Luteinizing hormone is important. Luteinizing hormone contributes to how much testosterone your body needs to make. Okay. Cantor, you missed it. Please go back and rewatch the stream. I talked about my blood work protocol for like 30 minutes. Okay. I'm going to read because I'm too tired to do this from memory. Luteinizing hormone increased star-mediated cholesterol transport into mitochondria and upregulates activity required for testosterone production. So LH is responsible for converting that DHEA to testosterone. Don't hold me to that, okay? But luteinizing hormone plays a role in converting DHEA, those birds are really annoying, to testosterone. High luteinizing hormone with low testosterone indicates a primary testicular failure. What does it mean? It means your body's hormones want to create more testosterone, but the balls can't do it, okay? You have to understand the difference between a primary failure and a secondary failure, okay? Now, my luteinizing hormone is a little high. It's a little high, okay? And because it's high, the luteinizing hormone is telling my balls to create more testosterone. But my testosterone level is a little lower than my last reading, but my last reading didn't have LH count. So my testosterone is on the lower end of the spectrum, but my LH is on the higher end of the spectrum. So my balls are being told to produce more testosterone, but they're not producing more testosterone. I mean, it's okay. This is not, I don't have a big problem, but it's something to be aware of because I'm still like right at the conventional range here. But it is something I need to improve on a little bit. Oh, laptop battery almost dead. So we're going to finish here. Okay. We're finishing up. Now, low or inappropriately normal LH with low testosterone indicates a secondary failure. You might have a problem with your pituitary gland, and you are not telling the testicles to make more testosterone. Okay, so that's the difference. If you have low LH and low T, that means you're not your other parts of your body are not telling your balls to make more testosterone. Okay, and for me, the rest of my body is functioning fine. My body is telling my testicles to make more testosterone, but I'm on the lower end of normal. Maybe this is normal. I don't know. But ideally, I want my LH to be, closer to 5 than to 9. Okay? So something for me to work on as well. I think I'm done. I don't think I have anything else to say. We finished the conversation talking about Tone's balls. My prostate looks perfect. I've never had a prostate exam, guys. I'm 46. Not in a rush to have something stuck up my ass. So I'm just going to maintain a healthy diet and lifestyle and avoid anything going up my ass. I think eventually I'll have to do it. My omega-3 is okay, but I'm being picky. So I would like to lower my 6 and raise my 3. My urine is fine. I have lots of food sensitivities, and these are my environmental toxins from my blood. I have a more advanced environmental toxin test based on my urine, and we're going to talk about that in a future episode. All right, I have nothing else to say. This is me walking through my journey of going from this to this, and my camera is, I would take my shirt off, but you wouldn't be able to see it because of the current lighting. so I'll do it another time. I've lost 10 pounds. Please check the video, the links in the video description. Also, please use my affiliate page on tonebase.com. If you are gonna, get your blood work done through Function Health, there's also a link in the video description. I will do a whole video on my DNA and what I learned from measuring my DNA deficiencies. Here is the health tracker that I use on my hand. And we'll do a video about sauna and cold plunges as well. Tomorrow's video, this is what you all been waiting for. Tomorrow's video, I will finally discuss my workout routine, which is nowhere near as important as everything I talked about in the prior 5 videos. Guys, please believe me, I did not build my muscle in the gym. I built my muscle through good sleep, good diet, and understanding my blood work and understanding my deficiencies. I did not build my muscle in the gym. I've been in the gym my entire life. When I was 20 years younger, I spent way more time in the gym, and I did not look as good as I do today. So, and it's a lot harder to build muscle at 46 than 26. So trust me when I say, rewatch every one of these videos, because that knowledge is a lot more important than your gym routine. Any gym routine will build you muscle. The gym routine is irrelevant. What you do on the other 23 hours a day is what is actually going to turn that gym routine into muscle. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm exhausted, but I don't nap. I'm just going to relax and enjoy the beautiful sea. I am in the middle of my 4th day of no food and no water. Please watch the first episode of this series to learn more about dry fasting, or check out the links in the description. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this blood work video gave you some food for thought. I will not analyze your blood work. I only analyze my blood work. And now you saw the lengths that I went to understand my own blood work. Thanks, guys, and see you all tomorrow. I didn't look at your questions. I will review this live chat and I will reply to them tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think I can go through this whole live chat right now, but I will go through it tomorrow. Please post any questions below the video. Please post all your questions below the video.